Howdy folks, how's it going tonight? Texas Redleg here. Just got done with a hard week's work here and wanted to update everybody on a situation that many of you may not know about, being so focused on preps and this and that. You know, the basic stuff like food and meds, water, fuels, the basic stuff that, you know, tends to get all the attention when it comes to prepping. You know, that stuff's always in demand. But another area that I think a lot of people miss or may not just think about because maybe they're not directly impacted now is the fact of construction cost, labor cost, material cost, everything from, you know, fasteners to adhesives, all that stuff's going up, lumber especially, masonry. So we already had a huge demand because of just the housing market is going, you know, crazy bonkers right now anyway. New home builds and commercial buildings. But then we had the big winter event that caused so much damage that you know, it's difficult to find things and at least find timely repairs. It's just very difficult to find people that can, you know, put forth the labor and, you know, with it, the ability to obtain and procure materials to do the job. There's just a shortage of everything out there. And there's still people today in the Dallas area, for sure, and I'm sure it's worse down Houston way, that can't find drying equipment for these floods that they had, you know, during the ice event where it froze and burst all the pipes. So there's still people that do not have drying equipment to dry out their homes. Even in this area in Dallas, and you know, like I said, and it probably worse down south of here is the fact that people just aren't able to dry out their homes properly because the demand is so high. So you had the winter event. You've got tornado season starting here for the spring, which is always a pretty sure thing here in our area. And drought this summer coming up. I'm sure the West Coast is going to continue to have their droughts. And then you'll have hurricane season. Before you know it, it'll be here. And it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And so with that being said, with regard to the current situation now with construction and materials and labor, it's just going to get worse, like I said. You know, if you envision yourself being impacted by any of these storms, tornadoes or conditions, drought or hurricanes, etc., earthquakes, throw that in there too, and floods, obviously, you might want to go ahead and procure some stuff now if you can get it in, you know, small amounts. Like if you live in a hurricane area and you need to typically board up windows and stuff, if you don't already have your, you know, plywood or OSB set aside, maybe you go get it now if you can find it and just store it, you know, and at least you'll have some basics that you might need, you know, historically that you've experienced that you could procure now and have on hand again, or store it, you know, somewhere secure. And that could go from anything from screws to nails to plastic, duct tape, adhesives, paint, insulation. You know, you can't obviously store everything that you might need, but there's probably areas somewhere on your property or somebody maybe that you know or a family member that you could store some of this stuff should you foresee an impact to your property ahead. And I'm telling you, it's a real deal. Again, people are beside themselves with just trying to find, number one, people that can do their work, and number two, being able to procure the materials to make repairs. And that goes from everything from roofing material to drywall to insulation to interior trim and finishes. that runs the whole scale. So I would seriously think about, in terms of prepping and you know, longevity of your home and protecting your home. I would go ahead and consider, as stocks sort of get back in order in some areas, go ahead and get your hands on that stuff now. You know, it's just a smart thing to do if you can afford it. And again, it's even taking like insurance adjusters like weeks to get out to even see somebody or, send somebody out to review a loss. So you're, again, like many other things, for the first few weeks or a month, you're probably going to be on your own for most of this stuff. And as many of us have come accustomed to knowing and understanding, that goes along with a lot of things. We're just on our own. So again, another reason why we prep, we're prepared. We expect no help from the government. We strive to be independent and be able to take care of ourselves and all that. So I encourage people to don't forget those things, the building materials, the safety items, maybe you find some Rubbermaid bins on sale somewhere, and maybe you buy a few of those extra to store things in, keep from getting wet, if you're in a flood prone zone or hurricanes, whatever. Maybe you buy some extra bins to store some of your stuff in. So anyway, just things like that. Think outside the box a little bit. Think ahead. Think 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road, at least. So anyway, just wanted to wish you guys a good weekend. Keep prepping, stack it deep, and long live the Republic.